You know that refreshing fizz you crave? Well, after watching this complete video, you're going to appreciate every sip even more. Today, we're here inside one of America's most advanced Coca-Cola bottling facilities. And trust me, what you're about to see is absolutely mind-blowing. It all starts with water, but not just any water. We're talking ultra-purified H2O that's been through more filters than you can imagine. This water goes through reverse osmosis, carbon filtration, and UV treatment to remove every single impurity. Why so much fuss? Because water makes up about 90% of every Coca-Cola bottle, and the company doesn't mess around when it comes to quality. Now here comes the star of the show, the secret syrup. You are never going to know what's inside that syrup that makes you so addicted to it. Myths are that only 2 to 3 people know its recipe. And yeah, the secret recipe for Coca-Cola is stored in a vault. This concentrated syrup arrives in sealed containers, and once it's prepared, the magic really begins. Watch closely as the syrup mixes with that purified water in these massive stainless steel tanks. The ratios are controlled by computer systems so precise they measure down to the milliliter. We're talking about maintaining the exact same taste whether you're drinking Coke in New York or Los Angeles. That's the level of consistency these machines deliver. But here's where things get really crazy. Carbonation time. The water and syrup mixture gets blasted with carbon dioxide under high pressure. This is what creates that signature fizz, that satisfying sound when you crack open a cold one. The CO2 is injected at specific temperatures and pressures to ensure every bottle has the perfect amount of bubbles. Too much, and the bottle could explode. Too little, and you'd be drinking flat soda. These machines nail it every single time. Now let me show you where the real speed kicks in. Those empty bottles you see, they're about to go on the ride of their lives. We're talking thousands of bottles moving through this facility every single hour, and the automation you're watching right now is nothing short of spectacular. The bottles arrive on high-speed conveyor belts, clean, empty, and ready. These aren't just any conveyor belts, though. They're engineered to handle bottles moving at speeds up to 1,200 bottles per minute. That's 20 bottles every single second. Just try to wrap your head around that number. Here come the filling nozzles, and this is one of the most satisfying things I've ever seen. Watch how beautifully they grab those bottles firmly and pour the drink up to a certain level. The precision is insane. Each bottle gets filled to within a millimeter of the target line. Sensors monitor the fill level in real time, and if a bottle is even slightly off, it gets kicked off the line immediately. The bottles are superbly filled up with this amazing drink. And now the capping game begins. Those caps you see flying through the air, they're being sorted, aligned, and placed on bottles faster than your eyes can track. The capping machines apply the perfect amount of torque. Tight enough to seal in the carbonation and freshness, but not so tight that you'll hurt your hand trying to open it. Let me tell you some real mind-blowing stuff. In its first year, when Coca-Cola was introduced, they would be able to sell 9 glasses per day for the whole year, and now they sell 1.9 billion servings a day worldwide. If I ask myself how much I consume Coke, I do believe this number is real, but we're not done yet. Not even close. See those robotic arms? They're about to stack these bottles into cases with movements so fast and precise it looks choreographed. Each arm can handle multiple bottles simultaneously, rotating, lifting, and placing them into cardboard carriers without missing a beat. The quality control happening here is absolutely next level. We're talking AI-powered cameras, scanning every single bottle as it passes. These aren't your average cameras. They're high-speed imaging systems that can detect the tiniest defects. A microscopic crack in the bottle, caught, fill level off by a millimeter, rejected, label slightly crooked. Out it goes. The system photographs each bottle from multiple angles, processing the images in milliseconds. Computer vision algorithms compare each bottle against the perfect standard, and any deviation, no matter how small, triggers an automatic rejection. The rejected bottles get diverted to a separate line where they're emptied, and the liquid gets recycled back into the system. Nothing goes to waste here. Now watch this incredible wrapping process. Those cardboard boxes you see getting assembled? That's happening automatically too. Flat cardboard sheets get folded, glued, and formed into boxes in a continuous motion. The filled bottles slide into these boxes, and then, check this out, they get wrapped in plastic film for extra protection during shipping. The shrink wrap machine is working overtime here, friends. It wraps the cases in plastic film and then sends them through a heat tunnel. The heat causes the plastic to shrink tightly around the boxes, creating a secure package that can survive the journey from factory to store without any damage. But here's something even cooler. Those bottles don't just keep going with the flow. They pass through different detectors, so if any bottle is faulty, the system can immediately fix it to maintain that crowning reputation. Metal detectors ensure no foreign objects made it into the bottles. Weight sensors verify each case has the correct number of bottles. Even X-ray machines scan through the packages to catch anything the cameras might have missed. Time to talk about the logistics, because this is where it gets really impressive. Every single bottle produced here is tracked from the moment it's filled. Barcodes and RFID tags tell the system exactly where each bottle is, what time it was produced, and where it's headed. This level of tracking means if there's ever a quality issue, the company can identify and recall specific batches within hours. The filled and packaged cases move to the palletizing area, and this is where robots really show off. These mechanical giants can stack cases onto pallets in perfect patterns, building loads that are stable and efficient for shipping. Each robot can handle thousands of pounds, working 24/7 without getting tired or making mistakes. Watch how they build those pallets layer by layer, alternating the direction of the cases to create a stable structure. When a pallet is complete, it gets wrapped in multiple layers of stretch film by automatic wrapping machines. The whole thing spins around while the film dispenser moves up and down, creating a tight cocoon that holds everything together during transport. Now let's talk about those iconic glass bottles. Because yeah, they still make those too. Glass bottle production is even more fascinating because glass has its own unique challenges. The bottles arrive pre-formed from glass manufacturing plants, but they need to be inspected even more carefully than plastic bottles. Glass is non-permeable, which means it keeps carbonation locked in for a longer-lasting bubbly experience. That's why some people swear that Coke tastes better from a glass bottle. And honestly, there might be something to that. The glass doesn't interact with the liquid at all, preserving the pure taste exactly as intended. The glass bottles go through their own high-speed filling line, but the process is similar. Rinse, fill, cap, inspect, package. The main difference is the extra care taken during handling, because glass is obviously more fragile than plastic. The conveyor systems use special cushioning, and the speed is adjusted slightly to prevent breakage. Speaking of different packaging, let's check out the can production line, because this is seriously cool. Those aluminum cans you see? They're arriving pre-printed with the famous red and white Coca-Cola design, but they're not filled yet. That happens right here in this facility. The cans go through a similar process to the bottles, but there's one major difference. The filling happens before the cans are sealed. Watch as those nozzles drop down into each can, filling them at lightning speed. The precision is just as impressive as the bottle line. Each can gets filled, then a lid is placed on top and seamed. That's the technical term for how the lid gets attached. The seaming process is crucial. The edge of the can body and the edge of the lid get rolled together in a double seam that creates an airtight seal. This happens in 2 steps, with rollers applying just the right amount of pressure to create a perfect seal without damaging the can. The whole process takes less than a second per can. During World War II, Coca-Cola played a role in the war effort. The company provided the famous Coke and a Smile to American soldiers, and a portable Coca-Cola bottling plant was even set up on the front lines. Today's operations are obviously more advanced, but that commitment to getting Coke to people wherever they are hasn't changed. The facility we're in right now can produce millions of servings per day. Let me repeat that. Millions per day. The factory runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with different shifts keeping the lines moving constantly. The only time production stops is for scheduled maintenance, and even that is carefully planned to minimize downtime. What's really impressive is how they handle different product variations. This same facility doesn't just make regular Coca-Cola. They switch between Coke, Diet Coke, Coke Zero, and various other beverages, all on the same lines. The changeover process is highly automated, with the lines getting flushed and cleaned between product runs to prevent any flavor mixing. The syrup tanks switch over, the computer systems update the mixing ratios, and within minutes, the line is producing a completely different product. It's like watching a high-speed ballet, where everything has to be perfectly coordinated. Let's talk about sustainability for a moment, because modern Coca-Cola facilities are surprisingly eco-conscious. The water that's used to rinse bottles gets filtered and recycled back into the rinsing system. The heat generated by the machinery is captured and used to warm other parts of the facility. Even the rejected products get recycled. Nothing goes to waste. The facility uses solar panels on the roof to generate some of its own electricity. LED lighting throughout the building reduces energy consumption. The packaging materials are increasingly made from recycled content, and the facility has goals to reduce its carbon footprint year after year. Now here's something you might not know. Coca-Cola is sold in over 200 countries, and its slogan, Open Happiness, reflects its global appeal. But each region has its own production facilities, ensuring that the product is always as fresh as possible when it reaches consumers. The factory we're in serves a specific region of the United States, with trucks carrying the finished products to distribution centers and then to stores. The logistics are mind-boggling. Think about it. Every gas station, grocery store, restaurant, and vending machine in the region needs to have Coke in stock. That requires an incredibly sophisticated supply chain that can predict demand, manage inventory, and deliver products on time, every time. From the moment a bottle is filled to the moment it reaches a store shelf can be as little as 24 hours. That's right, the Coke you buy today might have been produced just yesterday. This is possible because of the network of distribution centers and the fleet of trucks constantly moving products from factories to retailers. The trucks themselves are specially designed for beverage transport, with refrigeration units to keep the products cool and suspension systems to minimize vibration that could damage the packaging. GPS tracking ensures that every truck's location is known at all times, and route optimization software plans the most efficient delivery paths. Back in the factory, there's one more crucial area we need to talk about: quality assurance. Beyond all the automated inspections happening on the production lines, there's a full laboratory where human experts conduct detailed tests on samples from every batch. They test for carbonation levels, sugar content, pH balance, and flavor consistency. They compare samples against the master standard to ensure that every bottle meets the exact specifications. If anything's off, even slightly, the entire batch can be held or rejected before it ships. The laboratory also tests the packaging materials to ensure they meet food safety standards. The bottles, caps, and labels all get scrutinized to verify they're safe for contact with the beverage and won't impart any unwanted flavors or chemicals. This level of quality control is why Coca-Cola tastes the same, whether you buy it in Maine or California, whether it was produced in January or July. The company has spent over a century perfecting this consistency, and modern technology has made it easier than ever to maintain. Let me show you one final area that's absolutely fascinating: the control room. This is the brain of the entire operation. Banks of monitors display real-time data from every part of the production process. Operators can see exactly what's happening on every line, monitor equipment performance, and respond to any issues instantly. The system uses predictive maintenance algorithms that can detect when a machine is starting to show signs of wear before it actually breaks down. This allows maintenance crews to replace parts during scheduled downtime rather than dealing with unexpected failures that could shut down production. Everything is connected through Industrial Internet of Things technology. Sensors throughout the facility constantly feed data back to the central system, creating a complete digital picture of the entire operation. The level of automation and monitoring would have seemed like science fiction just a few decades ago. As we wrap up this incredible tour, think about what you've witnessed. From ultra-purified water to secret syrup, from high-speed filling to AI quality inspection, from robotic packaging to sophisticated logistics, every single step is optimized for speed, precision, and quality. This is how Coca-Cola is made in the USA. Fast, precise, relentless. The next time you crack open a cold Coke, you'll know exactly what went into making that simple pleasure possible. Hundreds of people, millions of dollars in equipment, and over a century of refinement, all working together to deliver that familiar taste you love. Maybe next time, before grabbing that bottle, you'll remember and appreciate the incredible effort behind making that delicious beverage you drink. From factory to shelf, from bottle to your hand, it's a journey of precision, technology, and dedication that never stops, never slows down, and never compromises on quality.